I'm giving you a full fish room tour including 6 planted tanks with shrimp, rare aquarium fish, expensive aquarium fish, bee puffers and much more. I hope you enjoy this video and get inspired. Let's start off with this tank here. It's a 10-gallon breeding tank for my albino antlers. I'm trying to breed them in here. I had them in a tank on the top shelf with some normal antlers, but I really want the albino antlers and not the normal variety of the antler. That's why I have them separated in this tank. This 10-gallon tank with a sponge filter, a heater and some plants and a coconut. I do not have any albino antler fry at the moment, but I do have some normal variety antler fry in a grow out tank 1 shelf higher. I'll show them in a minute, but I really want to breed these albino ones because they look really cool. They have red eyes and they are white, which looks cool. Right here we have my 15-gallon Molly and Brushnose Blacko breeding tank. It looks really good in my opinion. The plants are looking really green. I don't have any dead leaves on them or anything. I added some of these orange mollies last week because they look pretty cool in my opinion. They were only 50 cents per fish, which was really cheap. I have 1 male brushnose and 1 female brushnose Blacko in here. And about 20 mollies. A little bit too much. I'll separate the yellow mollies out of this tank soon. I want to breed them all, but I do not have that many tanks. I also added this plant last week. It's a pretty cool looking plant and it was only €2, which was super cheap. I also just run a sponge filter and a heater on this tank. And a light from Superfish. This right here is my 20-gallon antler fry grow out tank. I think that I have about 50 antler fry in here, which I'm growing out for my local fish store. I can already see some males and females in this tank, even though they are really small. I feed them this food. It's from Vitalis and it's high quality, which that makes the fish grow really fast, I think. And I often do water changes. I have the Aquarium Co-op, Fish Fam and Taco Union decoration in here, as well as 3 sherry barbs, and I really want more because they look great, and 3 rare catfish. But they don't often come out, so I'll see if I can get a shot of them. I also have some salvinia in this tank. It's a floating plant and I'm not sure if I like it or not because I often have dead leaves that get stuck between the salvinia and it's really hard to get out. But as all my other tanks, I use a sponge filter, a heater and a light from Superfish on this tank. Right here we have my bee puffer tank. I have about 10 bee puffers in here, which is way too small. I know, but they are in quarantine right now, because I got them recently and they are wild caught, so I want to make sure they are healthy enough and then I'll put some in my community tank. Which, some people say bee puffers can go in a community tank, but never had any problems with them. You can check out one of my most popular videos. I kept them in my community tank. No problems at all, but I'll just spread some around the fish room to eat the snails that are in my tanks. I really hate snails. I feed these guys snails, bloodworms and live food. They really enjoy it and it makes them look much better. I don't know why, but when I feed them bloodworms, they just color up so much more. And I love to see their bellies grow. Right here on the top shelf we have my 15-gallon shrimp breeding tank. I have many different shrimp in here. I have sherry shrimp in here, orange tiger shrimp, crystal red shrimp, and a few crystal black shrimps. They look super cool in my opinion, and I really got the shrimp fever lately. I also found some baby shrimp last week. Some baby orange tiger shrimp. I think this is one of my favorite tanks I own at the moment. I really like the plants that are in here, and I added this plant yesterday. It will look great, but right now it's a little bit messed up. I do have this weird stuff on my water. I have no idea what it is. Please tell me in the comments what it is and how I can solve it. I do not use any fertilizers in this tank. I just run a sponge filter, a heater and a superfish light. As on all my tanks. Except for the 45 gallon planted tank. Which I'll show you in a minute. This right here is my 45 gallon planted community tank. I think this tank is the best looking tank in my whole fish room. It's thriving, the fish are enjoying life in this tank. And I like to look at it. I have many different plants in this tank, as well as many different species of fish, snails and shrimp. I have 2 discus fish in here, and I recently added 2 new angelfish. They look pretty cool. I also have a male betta in here, as well as some rabbit snails, and they love to breed in this tank. I also added some rare barbs in here. I have no idea what they are called, so let me know in the comments if you know what they are. They look pretty cool in my opinion. The Amano shrimp do a lot of the cleanup for me. I only have to clean the glass sometimes and of course do water changes, trim plants and clean the filter sometimes. This tank just has many different species of fish and I like them. They are thriving and they all fit together in this tank.